Otter radio show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's another Thursday. I just came back from the test, so hopefully you didn't get a snafu there. We just ran a little test. So, testing has been done, and with the audio was good, everything was good. So, here we are. We're rolling. It's the Bitcoin Otter Show on KCYP, The City, FM 97.7 here in McAllen, Texas. As I said, maybe you didn't see it, but as I said in the test version, I think it was a couple minutes long, we are at the McAllen Creative Incubator. And they're having a kids concert out there. They got, kids wailing away on drums, the guitars, and all that good stuff. It's awesome. It's great. I love to see this stuff, okay? So what's happening is these kids out here could be your kids if you want your kids to learn music, right? They're singing, I think, 90s, which is not my favorite, Joe, but as I come into the studio, Joe loves 90s music. It's growing on me a little bit. I'm an 80s, 70s guy, but they're cranking the 90s music out, and, it's just a good thing to have here in town. So we've got the McAllen Creative Incubator going, and if you want your kid to do art, if you want your kid to do painting, photography, radio with Joe here, we got all kinds of stuff here at the McAllen Creative Incubator for them to explore and get into, right? So, like I said in our test, we're going to hopefully be able to, once it pops up on my screen here, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get all of the comments, all of the things that I had last week, and everyone can jump in and have a look at what we're doing here. So, okay, I got me now, and I'm in the comments. So, Leslie Rosselli, how you doing today? Thank you very much for popping in. Again, throw something up if you want to talk about it. I got a bunch here, ladies and gentlemen. I have a bunch. I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff has been happening, both in and out of the crypto world, both in and out of the political world. And I'm going to say this because a lot of times people come in, and I'm going to say this first, and I'll say it maybe a couple times later, very briefly. I have a friend of mine named Cody, and Cody was telling me the other day, he made a comment to someone else who actually commented to me, so I spoke to Cody about it, and he kind of gave me the sentiment like, hey, Otter, I love the way you used to do your conspiracy theories. You used to, make connections. You connected the dots, and we were able to talk about that. But you're getting into a lot of politics now. Okay, so Cody, if you check this out either live or whatever, I want you to know that I adjusted a little bit. Okay, what I'm doing is trying to be, responsive to the people who want to hear things in a certain way. And I understand it. Politics is a quagmire, and the deeper we get in, the dirtier we get, right? So I'm going to try and switch, and I'm going to magnify a little bit for everybody. It does touch on the political, but I'm going to magnify a conspiracy theory that people like me knew was afoot from Jump Street, okay? But it just came out this last week, and I'll go into it a little more in the show. Stick around, you're gonna like it. Jaime, glad to see you. Glad to see you here. So, we'll go through the usual gamut, okay? So we start with the crypto stuff, and I know a lot of people aren't into cryptos, but I'm here for you if you want to get involved. Anyway, we're not just crypto, right? We want to stay out of this disaster, financial craziness that's gonna happen. I don't know, a few months now. My crystal ball is in the shop. I don't know when it's gonna happen. But I do want you to know that show prep today, gold was $1,966 better than the dollar. $1,966 will get you an ounce of gold, which to me means that they're beating up the dollar, and it's going to get worse. Okay. Jaime says another fake moon landing will unite this country. You know what? You might be right. That's all we need. The only thing is, the best director, Stanley Kubrick, that directed the first one, he's not around with us anymore. The closest one, my favorite of all time, and nobody asked, but I'm going to tell you, director is Michael Mann. He did The Last of the Mohicans. He did Heat. I could go on, but I digress. Maybe he could do a fake moon landing for us. I don't know. But he does it with he did Miami Vice too. Man. Anyway, well, yeah. I probably will, because there's still a lot of TV watchers out there that believe anything that comes on the boob tube. So, silver, $23.72. You get yourself some silver for that? No, you won't. Why, Otter? You just said it was $23.72. That's what we're going to... No. That's the spot price. Silver is so much more valuable than the spot price. You wouldn't even believe it. I maybe one of these days I'll do a whole silver show for you. But the reason they put the spot is to keep it down. They don't want people knowing how much more valuable it is, because then they're going to realize that, wait a minute, what are we doing with this paper stuff? What are we doing with it? Well, I'll tell you what we're doing with it. We're getting ski-rooed. Yes, that's a technical term too. Rosselli, what do you think of local weather lately? Climate change or government controlled? Well, I'll tell you what. I was out, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and I did a little video. Maybe I'll pop it up on the Facebook thing. But I was down south of South McAllen, and it was just dawn. It was just clearing. You know, the sun was just coming up, and I saw a hash grid of what, you know, TV people call contrails, but what most people call chemtrails, okay? They're spraying something up there. I don't know what it is. And then some people think it's weather modification. Very well could be. But it is crazy weather. But again, weather is weather. We can't really... We could go down the rabbit hole, don't get me wrong. But it's something that we can't tangibly touch and see. Maybe someday we will. Jaime says, let's get Spielberg to direct it. Okay, maybe. But I'm not a Spielberg fan. I'll get into that one day. And here's the reason. Her name was Heather O'Rourke. Go down that rabbit hole, Jaime. If you want something more, you got my number. Hit me up. I'll give you more on that Heather O'Rourke rabbit hole. Horrible things happen in Hollywood. It's not a nice place. So, yeah, Rossetti says, yes, we love the rabbit holes. That's the thing. We go down, and some of us want to get out right away. Some of us go down so far we need friends to pull us back up. So an instance of that was my friend Matt, who was convinced that JFK Jr. was still alive and was going to come back. I had to pull him out of that one. There's a lot of data out there, but let's just say I had to pull him out of that one. I had to go deep myself to get him out of that. So, Bitcoin, 26,936 times better than the US dollar is Bitcoin. 26,936 of your dollars will get one Bitcoin. Average mortgage rate for those of us that are planning on, you know, maybe buying a home. Average mortgage rate 6.89 for a 30-year mortgage. Remember what mortgage means. Mort-gage. Mort is death. Gauge is to engage with it. You engage with death when you sign your mortgage. Unfortunately, most of us, if we're fortunate enough to buy a home, we have a mortgage. 15-year rate 6.23%. And these rates are climbing, and we knew this was going to happen, right? So, Ian, good to see you popped up there, Ian. Remember, there's a little delay here, so if I don't give you a shout out, it's because I haven't quite seen you yet, or there's a delay going on. So, we're going to do a little Bitcoin news here. What do we have? Biggest movers. And I'm going to explain a little bit right here about this coin, this token, which most people would understand better if I called it a share. So, tokens are sort of like shares in a company. And in this case, it's called XRP. XRP used to be known as Ripple. Okay, so what are they? What do they do? They are a blockchain backbone for financial transactions. So, what do people think? They think that if we are indeed one day forced into this central bank digital currency, so far to my limited research, XRP looks like the favorite to take the place of what is now known as the SWIFT system, where we put our debit cards in something, the transaction goes on the regular internet and all that. Well, if and when they go to blockchain, so far the front runner, to my knowledge, limited as it is XRP to be the backbone of that system. So people are, you know, jockeying around trying to see, well, maybe if it's going to be XRP, maybe I'll pick me up a bag of it, right? XRP is at like 42, 43, 44 cents right now. Not sure exactly per token, which again, if it helps you to think of it as a share in a company, then go right ahead. It's not that much different. It's different, but not that much different. So the report is, this is off of Bitcoin News. It says, biggest movers. XRP extends bull run, jumping 5% on Thursday. The report says, Biden administration crypto czar says DOJ will target digital asset exchange platforms. Okay? Exchange platforms are what you would do, like, let's say you do Robinhood for your stocks, your portfolio, and you mess around with stocks. Or let's say you go up and you read the charts and stuff like that. That's the same thing you can get done on a crypto exchange. But the usual suspects hate the crypto exchanges. Why? Because we are free there. We can do what we want to do. We are our own bankers. They hate that. So they want to shut them down, obviously. According to Yoon Young Choi, the head of the crypto unit at the U.S. Department of Justice, or should we say injustice, the United States has resolved to target digital platforms because they're making it easy for criminals and money launderers. Then what's Ukraine? Anyway, Choi said that the DOJ hopes taking action against entities such as crypto exchanges is going to have a multiplier effect. Of course it will. You're going to screw the little guy. That's the intent. You want to make it difficult for little people like me and you to do what we want to do, to be free, to be our own bankers, to be our own financial advisors, to do what we think is best for our families. That's the multiplier effect. If they put the screws to the big guys, they're guaranteed to get the little guys, okay? Jackie, how you doing? Great to see you. Great to see you here. So when they mean, hey, we're going to come after the crypto exchanges, what they really mean is we don't want those little people out there, those middle-class rascals. We don't want them to get a foot up. We don't want them to get a leg up. We don't want them anywhere near us. So what we're going to do is we are going to make it so it's more difficult for them to get into and out of the exchanges with whatever cryptocurrencies they want, because we don't want them to have that. We want them to have the Federal Reserve note. Why? Because it's centralized. It's controlled. They control it. The Federal Reserve, the private Federal Reserve. Remember that, ladies and gents. If you don't know that yet, you need to grasp that. The Federal Reserve is private. And when you think of anything that deals with taxes, that deals with income, that deals with all these things, okay? Currency. You want to think that some place has been audited multiple times a year. How many times since 1913? Joe, you know this answer. How many times since 1913, when the private Federal Reserve started, has the Federal Reserve been audited? He's showing the goose egg, ladies and gentlemen. The big goose egg is from Joe. You can't see him, but he showed me the goose egg. 0.000 times has the Federal Reserve that issues the U.S. currency been audited. 0.0. Doesn't happen. Why? Oh, come on. I don't have to explain that. You guys have been watching along. Claudia, good to see you. Glad to see you could make it. So, DOJ to target mixers and tumblers. So if you really want to be anonymous, there are things that you could do to mix and tumble your crypto so they can't see where it came from, who has it, and it comes to a wallet without your name on it. They hate secrecy. They hate the fact that somebody can do with money what they do with money. Magic tricks, shell games. They hate when they are challenged. So here's more crypto news. Chinese universities begin adopting digital yuan students to lead CBDC drive. Ladies and gents, the central bank digital currency, CBDC, started in China. It's basically a real good way to control the populace. So they control how you spend it, they control where you keep it, they control how much of it you have, they can take it from you, they can block you from it. They control everything because it's their blockchain. It's like having your own internet, but it's not really your own. It's controlled by someone else that is controlled by who? Who controls the Federal Reserve? We'd love to know. There's a list of names and you're not on it. You're not there, I'm not there. So, as long as we got that straight. China's central bank digital currency will rule every aspect of their campus lives. That's for sure. Conservative roof. This is something, we're getting into a little bit of politics. Cody, I'm sorry. Cody wanted me to steer away. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to steer away for a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a segue that I had planned, and this is a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Because I didn't write it. Who wrote it? God. God the Father wrote it. And he used it to help us. This is from Isaiah. Woe to those who make unjust laws. Weren't we just talking about those guys? Woe to those who make unjust laws, to those who issue oppressive decrees, to deprive the poor of their rights and withhold justice from the oppressed of my people. Isaiah 10, 1 and 2. So, woe to them. So, we know that there are enemies, but you know who else they've made an enemy of? God himself. You cheat poor people, you cheat anybody. You've got God as an enemy. You're basically recruiting your own enemy when you cheat people. So I'm telling you, they have a lot to answer for, these Federal Reserve stooges. Since 1913, it's the third iteration. Okay, they had two private banks, central banks prior. This is the third one, and we're still living with it. Lord willing, it's going to go. Chris, good to see you. Glad you can make it. So we just did the verse of the day, okay? Verseoftheday.com, by the way, is a great site. You can go, you can check it out. So, woe to those who make unjust laws. Yes. This one is coming in, and this is one of the ones, and it touches on the political, everybody. I want you to know that, but Cody, if you're listening now or you're listening later, I want you to know this, okay? You and I knew long ago that this conspiracy theory was the truth. What conspiracy are you talking about, Otter? That the Russia hoax was a nothing burger. It was nothing. There was no Russian collusion. And this last week, even CNN admitted it. Not really with any type of real dismay or regret, but they admitted it. They admitted it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break it down. Cody, I'm going to connect those dots, okay? Check me on this, everybody. Please check me. I want everybody to know that you can check me. If you think it's wrong, let me know. Either here on the screen, or if you're seeing it later, email bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. Okay? Now, this is from the New York Slimes. Even the New York Slimes, okay? One of the slimiest things that you could ever put in your hand, other than maybe a 4-week-old salmon. So, Durham finds fault with FBI over Russia inquiry. Well, we knew this. And a lot of people, you might be watching, you might not know who John Durham is. Who is John Durham? Well, do you know who Mueller was? That FBI bumbling agent. Do you remember Mueller? The Mueller thing, whatever it was. Okay, special counsel Mueller. You remember him, right? He was all over the TV. He was all over the radio. He was all over the newspapers. Mueller, what's he doing? He's gonna nail Trump is what he's doing. Yeah! What did he do? He slipped into something that, I don't know, he slipped in the parking lot, couldn't remember anything, came out jumbled. It's sort of like Grandpa Mushmouth does now on TV. So, here's what happened. And again, check me if I'm wrong. So in 2016, prior to the election, that Trump was never going to win, of course, Hillary Clinton paid Christopher Steele, one Christopher Steele, a former British spy, okay, to fabricate a dossier that he claimed to be credible intelligence. Everyone claimed to be credible intelligence. This is credible, this is highly sourced. To smear the Trump campaign. Okay, that's, whatever. Opposition research, it's done, it's politics. Dirty is dirty, right? Sarah, glad to see you're here. Dirty's dirty, politics are dirty, right? So what? It's a fake dossier made up by somebody who's got money. Trump could have done the same thing. I don't believe he did, but he could have. You know, all's fair, love, war, politics, whatever. But that's what happened. Now here's the scandal. Not only were they telling everybody that this fake dossier was true, that it was legitimate, and that, we're going to get Trump, don't make him your president, this went on past the election. We all know Donald Trump was elected, right? Now, he's sitting president. What happens? The FBI knew, and this is, please check me, the FBI knew this was fake. There are many things, but dumb they are not, okay? The FBI knew it was a fabricated piece of dossier, right? So, they still used it. They still used this dossier, knowing that it was fake. 4 times. in a FISA court. What's a FISA court, Otter? A Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. So what they do is, if there's another country involved with us, you, me, a politician, whatever, they can submit a sealed warrant, well, sealed indictment, so to speak, to get that court to give them a warrant to tap phone lines, to tap computers, to spy in any way they want, okay? They go as far as they want. Let me backtrack. They get 3 hops, okay? So they get me, let's say Joe, and somebody Joe knows, and somebody, that person that Joe knows, okay? So you get 3 hops with a FISA warrant, okay? Check me, throw here if you know differently, okay? 3 hops, 3-hop rule, whatever you want to call it. Oh, did they hop? They hopped every which way. They went hog wild. They were spying on the sitting president. And all the while, nothing was being done. Why? Because the Steele dossier was legitimate. Now, they knew it wasn't. So, they spied on him. They spied on his aides. They spied on anyone who helped Trump get elected. 4 times they went to this court. Lied to the court. Okay? Now, the only reason this court is in existence, by the way, is the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, which came after 9/11. It's just completely totalitarian, Orwellian, and all that. But I digress. So, many names among the U.S. deep state have emerged as purveyors of this criminal enterprise and are now known to be criminals of the lowest sort. How do we know? It's all coming out, and like I said, even CNN admitted it, right? Check me on this. Let me throw you out a few names. First of all, of course, Hillary paid for it all to get made, right? Rosselli, you're a little pissed off, I can see. If this is the first time you're hearing it, I'm sorry, but you know, this again, I'm going into the conspiracy theories that became validly, legitimately, absolutely, concretely true, Cody, okay? So, what's the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory nowadays? Yeah, maybe a week or 2. Anyway, let me give you these names. Hillary, Barack Hussein, Loretta Lynch, Chris Wray, James Comey, Sally Yates, Bruce and Nellie Orr, Andrew McCabe, and the lovers, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. If you want some fun viewing, look up on YouTube Peter Strzok's congressional hearings where he's under oath and he's just throwing vile bile, spewing it at everyone in their living room if they chose to watch. I thought it was hilarious. The guy is a weak roller. Anyway, he's coming up with a lawsuit, but this truth is just undercutting him all the way, of course. Dan, good to see you, Dan. I'm going over now for everybody who's coming in late or you're watching late. I'm going over the Russia hoax, okay? Russian collusion hoax, I should say. So, I'm stopping here too. I want to let everybody know that hope is alive, ladies and gents, okay? We may be going through another rough time. I'm thinking probably another year or so. It's going to get a little worse, maybe a lot worse. But ladies and gents, I don't want any of us being black-pilled. What's black-pilled, Otter? Black-pilled is when you lose hope. Don't let it happen. Do not let it happen. You've got my contact info. You know how to reach me. If you get to a place where you're despondent, where you don't think there's any more hope, please contact me. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what this is all about. This is why I do what I do. I don't want anyone being depressed. I don't want anyone being sad. I don't want anybody being scared. I want everyone to be prepared. The information I'm giving you is not so that I can say, oh, I found this out. This is so that you can see, if you choose to, the way out of this scam, this system that is falling apart around us. An off-ramp, if you will. Okay? You got some good money, man, throw it into real estate. It'll never go to zero. And I'm no financial advisor. Joe knows that. You also know that, right? Anyway, these are my ideas. This is how I go about trying to protect my family. Real estate, not going to zero. Gold, That's money. That's money. Silver, that's money right there. Ain't going to zero. In my opinion, this is me. If you feel great about it, come talk to me. I'll have you do it in a way that'll protect you. This is what I'm telling you. Bitcoin, I think, will never go to zero. But that's me. I'm not going to win you over. I don't want to sell it to you. That's not my job. My job is to get the word out that there is an off-ramp, ladies and gents. Land, gold, silver, Bitcoin. My opinion, not a financial advisor. This is not advice. I did not go to college, okay? My shadow never darkened the door of any institution of higher learning, and I'll have you know that. I won't claim anything, certainly not a degree. Anyway, I digress. Don't get depressed. This news is beating us about the head and shoulders every day. But the fact of the matter is, God wins in the end, number one. God wins, okay? Remember, he doesn't lose. The script is written. Pick your side, okay? He sent an ambassador about 2,000 years ago. His name is Jesus. How do I know? He lives here. Now, I mess it up a little bit. I mess it up a lot. Let me be honest. I mess it up a lot. I mess up a lot, and I've messed up a lot. I have. But he hasn't left me. He won't abandon me, and he's promised that he won't. No matter how bad I get, no matter how much I mess it up, he's still going to stick by my side. That's just the promise he gives us. If you want to know more about him, please, again, bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. But I wanted to make that break, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knows hope is alive, ladies and gents. Hope is alive. Do not give up. Do not give up. Okay? There will be, and I'm promising you this, there will be a critical mass of people that are going to wake up. They're going to see this to the point where these people, the names that I just wrote and more, there's Republicans all over these lists. Scum. Okay? I'm not a Republican. What I am is somebody who's trying to tell everyone, prepare yourself and your family, and it can be done right now. Not a problem. Rossetti gave us an amen. Awesome. So, all that to say, don't give up hope. Contact me if you feel like you're going that route. Anyway, here's a Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge is a good, place to look for news, in my opinion. Again, I don't know if you guys are hearing any of this feedback. I don't know if Joe can hear it in the audio. We have kids in a concert out here at the McKellen Creative Incubator, where we're at. Again, if you want your kids to learn music, painting, art of any kind, photography, bring them on down. It's the old McKellen Library that we're in. So, head of Ukraine's Supreme Court arrested for large-scale corruption. Otter, that's just a conspiracy theory. Yeah, but they arrested him. They did it. So, these NABU, it's these anti-corruption agencies there in Ukraine, have exposed large-scale corruption in the Supreme Court. You think? Jeepers. And these people are amateurs. The 2014, again, check me, 2014 coup, okay, headed by none other than John McStain, right? He basically made it so that these people are almost as corrupt as Washingtonian politics, Republicans and Democrats. Anyway, they exposed large-scale corruption, in particular a scheme to obtain undue advantages by the leadership and judges of the Supreme Court. Wow. So basically, they're just, even up to the top judge, it says, they're corrupt to the core. So here's one. I want everybody to know about this one. Let me see, we have visitors out there. I don't know where they went, but okay. Anyway, they're not coming in. So, secretive Bilderberg. Oh, Otter, you're going crazy. You're going off the rails now. Bilderbergs, are you crazy? That's Alex Jones stuff. Yes, it is. But Alex Jones, and look this up, Alex Jones was the one who went into the Bohemian Grove with a camera on his cap and got that whole nasty satanic ceremony. I don't know if you... Alex Jones, Bohemian Grove, gonna blow your mind. What our politicians, judges, CEOs, lawyers, the upper echelon, the so-called elite. You know what I call them? You don't have to adopt this, but feel free to steal it if you'd like. I call them the parasite class, because they wouldn't be where they're at if they didn't suck everything from us. Just like the Federal Reserve, it sucks the lifeblood from us, ladies and gents. When you realize this, when the light bulb goes on and you see these things, you're gonna be amazed. But I'm telling you, there is that critical mass, ladies and gentlemen. There is the critical mass. The worm is turning as we speak. There are not as many woke and asleep. Woke meaning the whole Bud Light thing kind of thing. That kind of woke. Those people are not the majority, ladies and gentlemen. They're not. Simply not. Don't believe it. So, secretive Bilderberg gathering of global elites kicks off. See who's attending and what they're discussing. This again is Zero Hedge. That's the headline. So they go into detail, and these are the things in the Bilderberg. Remember, the billionaires, the trillionaires, what do you mean trillionaires? There's no trillion. Oh yeah, who owns the Federal Reserve? You really think that Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world? Stop watching TV. Elon Musk is not the richest guy in the world. Whoever owns the Federal Reserve is the richest person in the world. Why? They can order their lackey to keep printing more money. Enter, enter, enter. How much you want, boss? 14 trillion. Okay, boss. How can you count that wealth? You can't. Elon Musk is not even in the running, but they keep that stuff out there for TV watchers just so that they'll believe that Elon Musk is the richest. Not even close. Anyway, so here's the things they're going to be talking about. AI, artificial intelligence. Ladies and gents, remember, be prepared, not scared. Don't be scared, be prepared. If you have a service type of job, okay, if you perform a service, please do yourself a service. Find out what AI is capable of. Ladies and gentlemen, AI is capable of taking jobs and will take jobs. If you learn it first, you can get a step up. If you want to know a little bit about a little bit, I know a little bit about a little bit. I don't know a lot. Okay? My son, man, he's riding that thing. He got it to write a program for him. He got it. Oh man, he's rolling. He's outperforming his peers at his workplace. Just, it's such an amazing advantage. Okay? That you're going to want to check it out. Right now, the one he's using is ChatGPT. There's a bunch of them, okay? There's even the ones that do, they'll do illustrations for you. You give the parameter of what you want to see on the screen, boom, the AI conjures it up, and there you go. So, at what point are people going to stop paying legitimate artists? We don't know. This AI thing is here to stay. So, the Bilderbergers are going to be talking about that. And not how it can help humanity. Please know that. Banking. Oh, isn't that our favorite subject? China. What's China? Energy transition. Oh, you know what energy transition is. If you've ever seen this show, you know what energy transition is. Basically, and I'm going to translate, energy transition means they're going to take you from something that works to something that doesn't. That's pretty good. I mean, I think that's a great, and if you have a difference, throw it at me. They're going to take you to something that works. They call it fossil fuels. It's not, but oil, maybe even nuclear, maybe, coal. They're going to take us from that, and they're going to give us electric from windmills and solar. That doesn't work, okay? Energy transition. Europe, ooh, what a nasty place. I really feel bad for the Europeans. They're really getting it. When they go, we have, according to the Economic Ninja, great show, check it out. He doesn't pay me a thing. Check out the Economic Ninja. But according to him, when Europe goes, we have somewhere between 2 and 6 weeks. So keep an eye on that. And I'll keep you up to date with it. All right? So, India, fiscal challenges. Oh, we're going to have some of those. Industrial policy, which is nobody can have industry but, there's selected few. NATO, the people that basically took over Ukraine in a 2014 coup. Russia, oh, don't we hate those Russians? Transnational threats, isn't that NATO? I think it is. Ukraine, we were just talking about that. Morass. U.S. leadership, is there? U.S. leadership? Joe, what's U.S. leadership? They've got... I didn't know this was going to be comedy. Anyway, here's some good news. Bud Light sales crash and getting much worse in latest week since Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. All right, so sales volume of Bud Light fell by 23.6% in the week ended on May 6. Oh, you think that's bad? That's a drop from the 23.3% slide Bud Light suffered in the final week of April. So since that crazy ad campaign, they've lost nearly half of their business. Wow. Now, I'm not the guy to go out there and say, just boycott everything, but at the same time, if you want to, then you do that. It's your money. Ladies and gents, it's your money. Here's another thing, and this is the last I have on my list. So if anybody has anything they want to talk about, please let me know. So here's the last thing. And maybe if we got a couple guests out there that are not paying attention to me. I'm trying to wave them, but they're not paying attention. They're not paying attention. Anyway, this is interesting, ladies and gents. Portland, Oregon wants to refund its police. Portland wants to refund its police. Not a refund, give them money, but to refund. Because remember their big thing, they wanted to defund the popo? They wanted to defund the police, okay? So what do you have when you defund the police? You get defecation on your streets. You get people being robbed, murdered, killed. But that's just what they wanted. That's exactly what they wanted. So defunding the police has just emboldened, this is again, Zero Hedge. Defunding the police has just emboldened the criminals wherever it was tried, endangering lives and driving away people and businesses, which was the point. Now, with the damage done and its tax base shrinking, Portland has realized it needs police. Eesh. It goes on, ladies and gents. It goes on. However, you can't, in this society, you can't have a city without police. We can argue about, urban area or rural areas or whatever. We can go there. But when you get to urban areas, man, there's such a conglomeration of such a conflagration, if you will. Jaime, help me with that one. See if I'm using it right. A conflagration of people groups, attitudes, opinions, all that. It comes together in a pot that doesn't melt together in a melting pot in any city. So you got to have somebody, to give the share shake, the fair shake, right? The fair share, okay? And that's what police do. Now, I'm going to end this broadcast, and I'm going to come back on. These guests that I'm trying to wave to is my daughter and my grandson. So I would like to have my grandson on. He's 6, okay? And I want to bring him on, and hopefully he can come. I don't know if he's running around there having fun with the kids in the little concert they're having here. But we may need to stop the broadcast. I'll go chase him down, grab him, and bring him in here. I don't know. But, Joe just went to go get him. So I'm going to try and get little John, okay? And he's hopefully going to talk to us. Part of what started Joe's show was, or his radio studio, this is a station, ladies and gents, is his passion for radio. So the KCYP 97.7 FM station here in McAllen was put together to show kids how to do radio, because Joe is passionate about it, and he wanted kids who were also passionate or wanted to build the passion, or parents that wanted to introduce their kids to a media like radio, which is going by the wayside but will never end, ladies and gents. We can't let it happen. All of us that are older, we remember what it was like, messing around with our radio, and we only had a certain kind of like the TV was. And when my kids ask me, "Hey Dad, were there TV remotes when you were a kid?" I said, "Yeah, I was the remote. That was me." Dad said, turn the channel to whatever he wanted. And of course I would go too fast, and then he'd yell at me because I was going to break his piece of furniture. Yes, young people, the TV was actually a piece of furniture. This is a TV, very thin. The TVs we had were as big as a sofa in some regards, or bigger. Yeah. So anyway, I was the remote. Now, that being said, this is why Joe did what he did when he started. Okay, he started KCYP to help people learn what radio was all about. Get some, he's got some, different shows on. They come on after mine or sometimes before mine or whatever. But the basic thing is that radio is still alive. For better or for worse, I think for the better. I think that if we just keep going with it, at some point it's just going to come back in style. That's my opinion. You know, you have your own. Joe, are they ready or no? Okay, nobody's there. That's fine. You know what? We're gonna end this, but I want to end it on a good note. Okay? We wrote what God said to the people who put the screws to the average people. Okay? But I also want you to know that the victory belongs to God. We are going through some difficult times. Some of us are losing jobs. Others of us are in debt to our eyeballs. We are, some of us, going through some really rough times. Please, I will pray for you. Let me know. bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. Please let me know. I want to know that I'm helping some people, and I know I get feedback from a lot of my friends. We've got almost 600 friends on Facebook now. Thank you for being there. Thank you for tuning in. But what I really want is to help. I really hope that the information I'm giving is going to help someone, even one person, right, escape some, problem for their family and them. Or just if you're single and you're, maybe this information will set you on, like Rosselli was saying, we love rabbit holes. So if one of these sets you on a rabbit hole and you're like, hey, Otter, man, you might not know this, but I'm all ears. I'll have you on the show. We're still working on that, by the way. Our guest. We're going to get, hopefully, a guest I'm not going to mention right now, but my buddy Mike Pack, who, I don't know if you remember, if you've heard or not, he was the producer for the Jenny Jones show for 9 years. 9 years producer, Jenny Jones. Did a bunch of other reality shows, but he got out of that crazy place called Hollywood. And now he's got a Twitter account that he calls it the Hollywood Reporter. So I bumped into him on Twitter. We're going to have him on the show and hopefully a very special guest that I really want to get on that will touch on some sensitive subjects, but things that we need to know, ladies and gents. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I want to give a shout out to Joe, our producer. He owns this station. This is amazing, ladies and gents. I see you guys that are here listening live and also on recording. Please know that I'm open for whatever you guys want to hear about. I pretty much will dig in and study just about anything, and I'll give you my opinion on it. Again, I'm not the burning bush. My crystal ball is in the shop. Can't really predict a lot of things, but we can look at indicators. We can look at history and learn from it. So until next time, I am asking that God bless everyone that sees this. I want God to bless everyone that puts a mind to protecting themselves and their family from, the parasite class, the ones that have it out for us. But I also want to tell you, not only does God win, okay, but his people win. And there are some good guys out there. Let's not get black-pilled. Let's not think there's no hope. There is, ladies and gents. There is a lot of it, and I can point you to it if you wish. bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with me. I love y'all. Have a great day. Until next week, Bitcoin Otter's out.
Let's go! This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.